explain himself properly. I'm sure he does not feel that all Northeasterners or most of them or people from North India are those who come here to commit crimes, come to the South to commit crimes. I don't think he subscribes to that idea. But it is true that they are separately identified and therefore they become a segregated group. However, people have to understand that they have no right to take law into their own hands. And that can be explained to them by society, by various systems, and especially if the police acts promptly and ensures that the people are booked after a proper criminal investigation, arrested, and then the rest of the procedure has to follow a quick conviction. Otherwise, how? I don't see.
Correct.
You said that perhaps a new law could ensure a change of mind, a change of heart in the people. Will it happen? I don't think the law can do that. It will have to be social groups who do this. Perhaps it is also necessary that when these Northeasterners move around, they could move around with a bunch of local boys and girls, so that they are not misunderstood, and their friends can always come to their aid. But here you go as a single person to commit a crime, well, then you're going to buy it. Although such acts are absolutely against law. So there is a solution. I think right now we can tell all these people, when you go out, go in a bunch, till we are able to explain to the public that they cannot take law into their own hands. Blaming Northeasterners, they are a beautiful bunch of people, I can tell you. My own daughter-in-law is from Northeast. So what else? Okay, so and I've known so many of the people from Mizoram, Nagaland and all, they're very good friends. Some of them were in college, and they're all very fine people. So maybe a fringe element of them indulges in these.
No, but Mr. Swaranjit Sen,
and
here is
what
you're saying right now is Noel Swaranjit, the educated, the sophisticated, the well-read, the former DGP of Andhra Pradesh. It is the view of this Noel Swaranjit Sen, right? But the view on the ground of a mob is very different. That's why I say it's a disorder. At that time, mob mentality works.
You're right.
Look, a Northeasterner. He could be a criminal. That is what crime is.
Yes.
So my point is, how do you get
very
your
dangerous
way of thinking into the mind of the people on the ground? Someone somewhere is failing. Mr. Sen.
Well, I suppose in that case, perhaps if you bring in a new legislation, and it will have to be explained to these uneducated people, those who are involved in the mob lynching. If I'm sure their education level is very low, they are probably from the labor class and that kind of thing, and they are people who don't have the proper understanding of things. They come together, and I'm also sure that out of them, the ringleaders may be people who are already registered with the police as bad hats. So there should be no problem in the police identifying these people, those who are responsible for this heinous crime. One thing more I would like to say. Any such crime is graded as specially grave nature crime. And a specially grave nature crime is investigated only by a gazetted officer personally. So when these crimes are occurring, are they properly being investigated by the gazetted officers? And they're supposed to be taken stock of every month by the Director General of Police. Is he doing it? We used to all do that kind of thing. It goes up the ladder. The SP does it, the DIG does it, and then the DGP does it. And if they're not doing it, I'm sorry, that means that the police administration is going bad. Yeah.
Well, I feel, if you hear Ghulam, it's pretty obvious that it's not happening. And I think, Nipun, I'll quickly take closing comments now. Nipun, I feel that the reason why mob lynching happens, or lynching happens, is because it kind of satisfies this basic need for justice. A person feels that he has been betrayed. I'm not talking about criminals, because criminals will do it by design. I am talking about normal people, right? Normal people who may be frustrated with the way or the manner in which things are going, and they wish to take law into their own hands. For instance, look at this picture. Do you think all of them are hardened criminals?
No, it doesn't look.
All of them. It doesn't look like, right? Or for that matter, in this picture. So, you know, this feeling or this sentiment that I have been failed by my administration, failed by my police, failed by the judiciary, failed by X, Y, Z, and in order to protect myself, now I only will have to do something, so let me just do it. Maybe my intention is not to kill, but I will, in that fit of rage, do something that will end up killing a person. That is lynching. What was Pehlu Khan all about? It was lynching. That was the sentiment, right?
Yeah. Well, I think the inherent assumption, however, still remains, which is who died and made you the pope to become the judge, jury and the arbitrator as well as the executioner.
Correct.
So what I believe is extreme amount of sensitization on a repeated basis by the government itself to tell these people about the ill effects of lynching and to in fact ingrain into their heads that this will not come to your rescue just because there are 200 other people who are joining hands. A murder is a murder, and everybody who is an accomplice to it will be treated in the same manner under the laws of the land.
Okay. Ghulam, your final comments with respect to another law fixing this?
Well, indeed, yes, a stringent law has to be passed and it has to be carried out equally effectively on the field by the police. Unless the police acts, unless the police feels that they should do something, nothing is going to change. The Supreme Court or the government can come up with n number of laws, but the police will have to consider it as serious as the other parties do.
Okay. Mr. Sen, your final comments.
Well, I agree with Ghulam, but I would also like to say that the judiciary, the judicial system has to pull up their socks. And especially in grave nature crimes like this, they should be top priority, have fast track courts and all, which can be done by an administrative order, and see to it that these cases are decided in good time. Otherwise, the effectiveness of a new law also will go. So it still rests on the fact that these cases have to be disposed of fast, so that it has a telling effect on those people in whose mind their criminal acts are fresh. You know, that has to be, otherwise it will not work out. I would like to say those as my closing comments, that yes, there much requires to be done. I have given a solution. For the time being, let the northeast people or people from the north go around in a bunch of local people whom they know along with them.
I think that's a good suggestion.
That will be
that's a good suggestion.
Good,
and I promise.
That's all. I mean, that's
correct. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Noel Saranjit Sen, Ghulam, as well as Nipun Saxena. And I can promise our viewers right here on India Ahead at 9 that what Ghulam is saying is absolutely disturbing. And we here at India Ahead are going to devote a series where we are going to send correspondents across the length and breadth of Tamil Nadu to identify this problem. Now, this inherent assumption that all Northeasterners in Tamil Nadu are criminals is wrong, number one. Number two, what gives them or the people the right to kill even those who are criminals and not turn them to the police is also a major problem, right? So on both these counts, we are going to file a comprehensive report in the days to come. Thank you so much for all our guests for joining us on debate number 1. Taking a short break at this moment. When we come back, we're going to talk about something which is related. What are we talking about? There's an arrest that has taken place against a WhatsApp page administrator because he tried to do something which was unpardonable. Is this the future? Now, he was booked and arrested simply because he tried to add a woman into a porn group. I feel that WhatsApp, which is the main factory of fake news, needs to be acted upon. We need to take strict action against WhatsApp. Is this the beginning of that action? And can this eventually lead to our first big war against fake news? Back in a moment.